Kuwait is the third richest country in the Middle East. When measured by GDP per capita based on purchasing power parity, it is the 21st richest country in the world. As of 2020, Kuwait is the 8th richest country per capita, when measured by GDP, PPP, per capita. Kuwait has no renewable freshwater resources, so instead, it relies solely upon saltwater desalination plants for fresh water. Kuwait has the world's 6th largest proven oil reserves, with 102 billion barrels in 2020. Kuwait is the world's 11th most obese country. It is the highest-ranked non-Pacific island nation, with 73.4% of its population classified as obese. Kuwait was the first Arab country in the Gulf to have an elected parliament. In 1963, following independence in 1961, elections were held for the National Assembly. However, women were not allowed to vote in Kuwait until 2006, when they took part in elections for the first time after a long fight for suffrage. Around 70% of Kuwait's population are expats, with around 3.4 million foreigners living in the country. However, Kuwaiti government recently announced to reduce the expat population to 30% of the population. Kuwait has the third lowest death rate in the world after Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. On average, there are only 2.3 deaths during a year, per 1,000 population, at mid-year. One of Kuwait's most famous landmarks are the Kuwait Towers, distinctive blue-green sequined water towers located in Kuwait City. The largest of the three rises to a height of 187 meters, and features a viewing platform, gift shop, and restaurant. Kuwait is building the world's tallest skyscraper. The proposed 1,001 meters, 3,284 feet, Burj Mubarak Al Kabir is expected to be completed in 2030. Its height is a reference to the classic collection of Middle Eastern and South Asian folk tales, 1001 Arabian Nights. In 2001, archaeologists believe they discovered the remains of the world's oldest ocean-going boat in Kuwait. The bitumen pieces indented with reeds and barnacles date from around 5000 BC. In 1899, Kuwait became a British protectorate, with Britain providing naval protection in return for Kuwait, allowing London to control its foreign affairs. Kuwait has been ruled by the Al Sabah dynasty since 1756, and continues to retain absolute power. In 1961, Kuwait gained complete independence, with the British protectorate formally withdrawn. In 1990, Iraq invaded and annexed Kuwait, accusing the country of stealing its oil from a field near the border. In 1991, a US-led and UN-backed bombing military campaign liberated Kuwait, in what became known as the Gulf War, or the Persian Gulf War. The Kuwaiti flag is horizontally striped, green, white, red, with a black truncated triangle. The colors are associated with a poem, written in the 13th century, by Safi ad-Din al-Hili. He spoke of the green fields of the Arabs, the black battles they face, the white purity of their deeds, and the red blood on their swords. Camel racing is popular in Kuwait, and since 2005 races using robots as jockeys after children were banned from the sport. Humanoid jockeys, specifically developed for the purpose, are the size and shape of small boys and are operated by remote control. Al-Sadu is an ancient craft of tribal weaving practiced by the nomads of Arabia. The craft portrays the traditional tribal lifestyle of the people, in the form of geometric and figurative symbols and patterns. Visitors to Kuwait City can learn about the history of this ancient craft at the Sadu House near the Kuwait National Museum. It was founded in 1980 to protect the ethnic handicrafts of the Bedouins. On the topic of highly developed economy, Kuwait's currency, Kuwaiti dinar, is the highest valued currency in the world. 1 Kuwaiti dinar equals 3.32 United States dollar. Makbous, a rice-based dish, usually prepared with basmati rice, seasoned with spices, and chicken or mutton, is the prominent dish in Kuwait. As of 2013, there are 74.6% Muslims living in Kuwait. The country does not have a railway system. There are no permanent rivers and lakes in Kuwait. So the country relies on the desalination of salt water for consumption. And only 1% of the total land is arable. The country therefore has to import most of the food items such as fruits, vegetables, etc. from the South Asian countries.